Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My brother, my sister, what you are about to hear is not a simple message. It may be one of the last reminders of Allah before your life turns upside down. Listen carefully, because this warning may save your heart, your soul, and even your destiny. This is not an exaggeration. It is a truth that many ignore until it is too late. You came across this video, but do you really believe in coincidence? Allah has guided you here at this very moment to address something important to you. There are times in life when everything seems to stop. Times when you feel an emptiness, a strange tiredness, a sadness that no one sees. What if all this wasn't a coincidence? What if it was a silent warning from Allah? A call to return to Him before certain doors close forever? Remember this: Allah never sends a warning without wisdom. He doesn't allow you to experience failure, loss, or loneliness without reason. Sometimes it's the only way He can make you heard. What your heart refused to listen to when everything was going well. This message is not a reproach. It is a sign of divine mercy, an urgent reminder, a light sent into your darkness. The Prophet Muhammad told us, "The heart wears away like iron, wears away by water." And he was asked, "What is its cure?" He replied, "The reading of the Quran and the reminder of death." Why this hadith? Because in reality, your heart may have started to rust. You pray. Yes. You believe. Yes. But do you still feel the thrill when you hear the name of Allah? Or have you become accustomed to living without trembling at the call of your Creator? Ask yourself a simple question. When was the last time you spoke to Allah with sincere tears? Don't rush to answer. Think. Because what you're about to hear in this video could be the beginning of a huge turnaround in your life. An inner transformation, a rebirth. But for that, you have to stay until the end. You have to listen to every word as if it were the last time anyone would say it to you. Because sometimes Allah sends you a message only once. And if you ignore it, you lose more than just a reminder. You risk lose your direction, your future, your connection with Him. So stay, listen, meditate, and above all, prepare your heart, because what you're going to hear in the next few minutes could well change everything. There is one thing that Allah mentions again and again in the Quran: the reminder. Not only the one we hear with our ears, but the one that must reach the heart. And today, this reminder concerns you, because you live in a world that has placed forgetting Allah at the heart of everything. You live in a time when the soul is hungry, but distractions feed it with emptiness. Look around you. How many hours a day are swallowed up by scrolling, watching series, empty discussions, and fleeting ambitions? And meanwhile, the heart drifts away, slowly, discreetly, until it feels nothing anymore, until it gets used to living. Without light, without purpose, without a real connection with the one who created it. This is the real danger. It is not the visible sin, but the inner silence. That moment when you hear the adhan and your heart stops moving. That moment when you pray, but your mind is elsewhere. You are in prostration, yes, but are you truly present before Allah? Or is your body alone praying while your soul sleeps? Allah says in the Quran, "And do not be like those who forgot Allah, while He made them forget themselves." Surah Al-Isra, 59-19. This verse is a mirror. When you forget Allah, you lose yourself. You no longer know why you live. You no longer understand why you fail. You sometimes even doubt your faith. And you ask yourself, why don't I feel anything anymore? Why don't my prayers change me anymore? But in reality, it is not prayer that has changed. It is your connection with Allah that has been weakening, slowly, day by day. And this detachment is rarely brutal. It always begins with small things. You put off a prayer, you neglect an invocation. You say, I'll catch up. Then you forget. You put it off. Then you get used to it. And one day, the reminder becomes heavy on your ears. But why is it so dangerous? Because Allah created you with a soul that needs His reminder to live. Without Him, you can laugh, talk, move. But inside, you are dead. You live a life without depth. A life that tires you out without you understanding why. A life where you may be successful in this world, but you feel that you are losing something precious. Maybe you're thinking, I am a believer, I believe in Allah, I fulfill my obligations. But the question is your heart still alive? Does it tremble when you hear a verse? Do you feel a weight when you miss a prayer? Do you feel pain when you make a mistake? For Allah does not look at your appearance. He looks at your heart. And when the heart becomes hard, even the most beautiful prayers become mechanical gestures. Even the Quran becomes a sound without effect. Even the truth becomes something we know, without being transformed by it. So ask yourself now, sincerely, when have I truly spoken to Allah without barriers, without masks, with all the vulnerability of my soul? If you don't remember, or if you realize that it's been a long time, then know that this oversight is costing you something greater than you realize. And this reminder today is not a coincidence. It is a hand extended by your Lord, a light that gently knocks at the door of your heart. Will you awaken this heart before it's too late? Or will you continue living thinking everything is fine, when you've lost what matters most? Sometimes Allah warns you not with words but with events. You've been there before. Everything seemed fine, then suddenly things change. A loss, a breakup, a sudden failure, an unexpected illness. And you don't understand. You pray, you believe, you hold on. So why does Allah allow this? Why does He send you these shocks when you're doing your best? Because He wants to wake you up before you fall into irreparable harm. Because He sees what you don't see. And sometimes your heart becomes too deaf, too cluttered by life, too tired of illusions. Then Allah knocks softly, then harder, until you stop, until you look up to the sky and cry, Ya Rab, why? This why is sometimes the most beautiful thing that can happen to you. It is the crack that lets the light in. Because while everything was going well, you were too distracted, too fast, too attached to this world. And Allah loves you more than you can imagine. He loves you enough to break you a little here below, so as not to lose you in eternity. Don't see every trial as a punishment. See it as a cryptic message from your Lord, a powerful call to return to Him before the doors close. Every tear you shed, every loneliness you endured, every door that closed, were perhaps ways that Allah chose to get you off a path that would destroy your soul. You may have fallen into habits that distance you from Him, associations, thoughts, repeated sins, and He saw that your heart was hardening. So, in His mercy, He took away what you liked in order to give you back what saves you. Allah says in the Quran, perhaps you hate something even though it is good for you, and perhaps you love something even though it is bad for you. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:16. This is a warning of immense sweetness. For He never leaves you in error without sending you signs. Look around you. This reminder is one of them. this pain that you feel today, it speaks to you. It says to you, come back before your heart grows cold. Come back before you get used to living without Allah. You may think you are alone in this battle, that no one understands you, but Allah is closer to you than your own pain. He hears what you don't even dare to say. And He knows every struggle you live in secret, every time you struggle with a sin, every time you want to change, but you relapse. Every time you say, "Oh Allah, help me," even in a whisper, none of this is lost. But at some point, you have to choose. Either you heed the warning and change course, or you carry on as if nothing happened, until the reminder turns to regret. It's not easy, but it is necessary. So ask yourself, how many warnings has Allah already sent you, and how many have you ignored? You can't go back, but you can change today. You can decide that this reminder won't be just another one. You can make this pain, this video, this moment, the turning point in your life. And if you take the first step, Allah promises to come to you, not with anger, but with a tenderness you've never tasted, a peace this world can never offer you. There are signs that never lie, signs that your soul begins to whisper to you when it feels far from Allah. But often, we stifle them. We push them away. We try to cover them up with the noise of the world, with entertainment, with superficial things. But deep down, you know something is missing. You know this emptiness isn't normal. You know your heart is crying out, softly, silently, for something truer, purer, deeper. And this feeling, it's the soul that cries in silence. For Allah created you with a soul that is not satisfied with this world. You can have everything, but as long as your connection with Him is broken, you will always be lacking. It's a truth we try to run away from, but it always returns. In the dead of night, in moments of silence. After a fleeting victory, when everything seems successful, but you still feel empty. This emptiness, this inner unease, this emotional imbalance, are discreet warnings. They do not come from outside. They come from Allah through your own heart. For He has placed within you a living reminder, your soul. And this soul is a witness. It knows what is true. It senses when you are far from the truth. And the more you ignore its calls, the more it suffers, the worse you feel, even if everything seems fine. This is why Allah says in the Quran, "Is it not by the remembrance of Allah that hearts find tranquility?" Surah Al-Isra 13:28. You see, it's not the people, it's not the money, it's not the success or the recognition. It's the remembrance of Allah. Only He can calm that silent storm you sometimes feel. Only He can fill that emptiness you don't understand. Because He is your origin, your starting point, and your only true return. But what should we do when we have ignored these signs for too long? When we have let our hearts become hard? When we no longer cry before the Quran? When we repeat prayers without feeling them? The answer is simple but profound. Come back sincerely, not to appear pious, not for others, but for yourself, for your spiritual survival, to rediscover that connection that nothing can replace. Because Allah does not expect perfection. He expects sincerity. He expects you to recognize your weakness, to stop for a moment and say, "Ya Rab, I'm lost. I need you." And from that moment on, everything changes. For Allah always answers those who call upon Him. He has promised. And His promises are true. You don't need to wait for a perfect moment. You don't need to be flawless. You just need to an honest heart, even broken, even confused, but who says, "I want to come back." and this desire, it is already a sign that you are being guided. This is already a light that is turning on in you. This is already proof that Allah has not abandoned you. Quite the opposite. He is still there. He is speaking to you through this video. He is reminding you that you still have a choice, that your destiny can still change, that the peace you seek is closer than you think. So, what's stopping you? What's holding you back? People's opinions? The fear of failing again? Or simply the habit of living shallowly? Now ask yourself, really? What if I started over today? What if I made this reminder the moment when everything changed? You have nothing to lose, except the emptiness that drains you. But you have everything to gain: peace, light, forgiveness, and a return to the one who loves you more than anyone. You have no idea what Allah can give you after your sincere return. As long as you believe that your life will remain limited to what you are experiencing today, you underestimate the power of a heart reconnected to its Creator. There is a truth that many forget. Allah never closes a door without opening another, much better one. He can change everything in an instant, but He expects from you a gesture, a step, an inner decision. Some people think that they must first make amends in order to return to Allah, that they must abandon all their sins at once, that they must understand their faith perfectly before saying, "Here I am, Ya Allah." But in truth, Allah does not ask you perfection. He asks you authenticity. He wants you to come to Him as you are, tired, broken, full of contradictions, if necessary. For it is with this vulnerable heart that is born the most powerful transformation. And this transformation doesn't start on the outside. It starts in the silence of your soul, where no one hears you, where you sit alone and dare to speak to Allah as you have never done before, where you open your heart without a filter, without a mask, without fine words, just you and Him. And it is in these moments that miracles are born. Not necessarily miracles visible right away, but internal changes that no one sees, but that you feel deeply. Maybe you don't think you deserve a fresh start. Maybe you think you've gone too far. But listen to this. Allah loves you more than your mistakes. He is Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, the merciful, the compassionate. And He is not tired of you, even if you have disappointed Him, even if you have fallen 1,000 times. He says in the Quran, "O my servants who have committed excesses to your own detriment, do not despair of the mercy of Allah." Surah Al-Zumar 39:53. Don't despair. As a reminder, you're listening to is not a coincidence. It is a heavenly invitation. It's a suspended moment when Allah gently knocks at the door of your heart. You can pretend to ignore it. You can distract yourself. But deep down, you know this message is for you. For the true warning from Allah is not a threat. It is a call to pure love. A love that wants to free you from the invisible chains you carry. Chains of the gaze of others. Chains of dependence on the world. Chains of guilt. Chains of fear of the future. And above all, chains of doubt. The doubt that makes you believe you are not worthy of the light. But you are. You always have been. And if you come back to Him, the door opens wide. She's always been open. You just forgot about her. So breathe, slow down, and let yourself be touched. Because maybe this video is the final reminder before a radical change. Perhaps this is the moment Allah has chosen for you, to extract you from the shadows, to tell you, come back, there's still time, I never abandoned you. Now ask yourself one sincere question. What if the best part of my life began after this reminder? Don't ignore this feeling. It could be the starting point of your elevation. You need to understand one essential thing. When Allah warns you, it is never to humiliate you. It's always to prepare you for an elevation. But for this elevation to manifest, something must die within you. Not you, not your identity, but those attachments that distance you from Him. Those illusions you've held for so long, those emotional dependencies, those toxic attachments, those dreams that bring you only wounds disguised as hope. And sometimes, that warning comes as a shock, a sudden loss, a betrayal, a silence, an unexpected trial, something that upsets your balance and makes you ask that famous question, why me? But you know, it's not a punishment. It's an alarm clock. It is Allah who comes to break what distracts you in order to rebuild what will make you strong. He never destroys without wisdom. He never takes anything away from you without planning. Better for you. But to receive this better, you must be able to let go, to trust, to say, "Oh Allah, I do not understand, but I submit to you." And that's where everything starts to change. Often you think you are losing, but in reality you are being reborn. What you think is a collapse is sometimes an opening to your true destiny. Because Allah doesn't just want you to survive. He wants you to be free. Free within. Free from what weighs you down. Free from what distances you from Him. And that's why some pain doesn't go away immediately. Because He uses it to shape a purer heart. Do you know what it means when Allah tests you after warning you? It means He has chosen you. He wants to make you exceptional, an example, a light in this darkened world. He wants your faith to become real, not just theoretical. He wants you to live what you say, to feel His names, to understand His presence, even in chaos. And that's when you'll see a miracle happen. You will have. You will go through things you thought impossible. You will cry, yes. You will fall, perhaps. But you will get up again and again, because Allah is with you. And this endurance is not natural. It is the fruit of His nearness. He says in the Quran, "And when my servant calls upon me, then I am near. I answer the call of him who calls upon me." Surah Al-Baqarah 286. Have you noticed? He didn't say that. He only answers the pious, the holy, the perfect. He said, "He who calls upon me, you, now, in your current state, even if you doubt, even if you've sinned, even if you don't know how to pray perfectly, you can just talk to Him, weep silently, and He answers. That's all. So why do you still hesitate to trust Him? Why are you afraid of losing what He takes from you? Believe me, Allah does not take anything without a reason. And if He takes something, it is because there is a hidden gem behind this loss. Perhaps what you are experiencing now is hard, but if you knew what He has in store for you, you would be at peace from today. But this future is only accessible to those who hold out despite the warning. Those who understand that this warning is a gift in disguise, a cry of divine love, a hand extended in the shadows. And if you grasp it, you are no longer the same person. You go from victim to chosen servant, from the one who suffers to the one who understands. And it is at this precise moment that destiny changes. Now that you've heard this warning, the question is no longer, is this true? The question is, what am I going to do with this reminder? For whenever Allah sends you a message, you are responsible for how you respond to it. You will no longer be able to say, "I didn't know." You will no longer be able to pretend that you are waiting for a sign. This sign is this one, this precise moment, these words that touch your heart. Don't make the mistake of procrastinating, because tomorrow is never guaranteed. You know, Shaitan doesn't always push you to do wrong directly. Sometimes he just tells you, now is not the right time, later, when you're ready. But He knows that if you keep putting it off, you'll never come. And if you miss Allah's call today, who can guarantee that He'll come back tomorrow? There are moments in life that never come again. Invisible opportunities that only the spiritual eye can grasp. And this video may be one of those rare moments. Perhaps Allah woke you up this morning to listen to Him. Perhaps He removed certain distractions so that you could be here, now, in this very moment. Because He knows you're ready, even if you think you're not. He knows. So answer. Even if you are afraid, even if you don't have all the answers, even if you still have unhealed wounds, answer with what you have. For Allah does not look at the greatness of your deeds. He looks the sincerity of your intention. He doesn't evaluate you like other people do. He sees deep down, where no one else can see, where you yourself sometimes don't dare to look. Imagine your life changing after this reminder. Imagine it's the starting point of a rebirth. Imagine that in a few years, you look back on this day, this video, this word, and you say, that's where it all started. It wasn't spectacular. There was no lightning, just a sensation, a vibration in the heart, a tear, a silence heavy with meaning. And Allah saw it. He counted it. He engraved it in your book. That's how destinies change. Not in noise, but in sincerity. This is how believers are raised, not because they have understood everything, but because they have said, I return to you, Ya Allah. And Allah never refuses a returning heart. So now you choose. Either you close this video and move on. You pretend you've forgotten everything. You go back to who you were before you listen to this reminder. Either you say, it's over. This time, I'm changing. I'm beginning. No matter how slow it is, I turn to you. And if you choose this second path, know that the sky opens. The angels are writing. Your name is mentioned before Allah. You are entering a new story, a new phase, a new light. It's not about motivation anymore. It's about destiny. It's not about emotions anymore. It's about transformation. And Allah is witness to what you decide now. May Allah guide you, elevate you, forgive you, and make you a model in your time. For you have not been forgotten. You've just been prepared. And now it's your time.